Revolution, Civil War, Insurrection. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am PJ. First time I've used my voice today. There's a lot of angst. There's a disturbance in the force. I'm talking primarily domestically, but we could go internationally with it. We have the left versus the right in the U.S. Just craziness. It just doesn't make sense. It's like at an emotional gut level. I mean, people are out there setting Tesla dealerships on fire and scratching cars and getting arrested for it and doing crazy things. I mean, the left is losing their ever-loving minds. I mean, it just doesn't make logical sense. They're also stupid. Teslas have cameras all over them. They're finding that out. And wasn't it, am I wrong? I mean, I thought it was stupid to buy an electric car. We have a chauffeur with an electric car. Whatever, it works for them. But I just thought it was dumb. And I thought it was mostly like green liberals, save the planet, who were buying these Teslas. And now they're keying them and painting them and setting them on fire. Isn't that liberals going against liberals? I mean, I don't know. I don't see them going after F-250s, HD, lifted, King Ranch package. Those are definitely right-wing vehicles, right? So you got that going on. You have the conservative base, people who MAGA, right? Make America Great Again, who supported Trump, support Trump, elected Trump, and they are very unhappy with the Republican leadership. Go figure. Two wings on the same bird, right? But they're unhappy. They're starting to get unhappy with Trump for allowing it to go on. This is stuff I'm picking up in like the substrata kind of thing. But they're not happy. You've got the globalist who are, let me change that. You have the Satanic globalist, a one world government, a new world order, with the goal to unite under the Antichrist. Oh, make no mistake, that is exactly what's going on there. Whether the actors are witting or not. But they're in a little bit of a panic because Trump was throwing a big old monkey wrench into the works. And I need more coffee. But I think they are starting to get it back under control. I just feel, it's also a stormy, rainy day. We're under a tornado watch. But I feel like things could pop. There's no focus yet, though. There's no pinpoint for that pop, but I'm just looking at people and they're getting mad. And I think a potential way, I mean, if I were writing this in a, novel or something, as MAGA has more and more successes despite the Republican GOP leadership, the left is going to get more and more frustrated, and instead of keying cars, they're going to resort to what the left has and anarchists, they're related, believe it or not. No, PJ, they're anarchists or against any government. They are related to the left and always have been. What they're going to resort to is what they've always resorted to. Big booms, medium booms, fire, Molotov cocktails, things like that. I can see that escalating. There's money behind it. They know it too. The current administration knows that there's money behind these Tesla activities, and they're supposedly looking for it. But, you got people like Bondi, AG Bondi. What the hell is she doing? Nothing. Just slow rolling this thing out there, right? She's not doing anything. I predict Trump may fire her. Trump hasn't fired any of his cabinet yet. Probably after midterms, depending on how the midterms turn out. Um, she better get with the program because she's not doing much. But I can see the left upping their violence. I can see as the warm weather comes, paid for, organized, controlled, like the communists are great at doing and always have been, riots and demonstrations. Of course, the CIA's really good at it too now with all the color revolutions. Who do you think is behind them? And they're going on around the world right now. They need to basically close down the FBI and the CIA and rebuild from the ashes. Now, it has to be done correctly and intelligently so we don't have a gap, just terrible. But both of those organizations, I think, are working against we the people. Um, they are way too uppity and powerful feeling, and they are in fact too powerful. Um, I was thinking color revolutions. Hoover, J. Edgar Hoover, was the director of the FBI for many presidencies. He was a little weirdo. Yeah, he was. But he had dirt on everybody, kind of like Epstein, right? And he threatened, um, probably, I don't know this part for a fact. I know he had dirt on everybody, the Hoover files. And so everyone was basically having to kowtow his line for fear. Now, you can't blackmail a righteous man, but there are none righteous, no, not one. We should all live our lives such that we don't care if someone exposes us. You said this about them. I sure did. I'll say it again. You should live your life honorably. Righteously has to do with following the Father. It's used in civilian terms, though. Be who you are. Getting back to the word. I'm feeling the word today. Yeah, let your yays be yay and your nays be nay. Just live that you can be proud of how you're living. And if you're not, stop. Stop doing that stuff. But I feel like as we go into the summer and the left starts their, hell no, we won't go. All their stupid little eighth grade slogans that they throw out there, with then the agents provocateur scattered throughout the masses trying to get things going, they're going to get a reaction. I think, again, just like the West underestimates Russia, I think the left, the globalist, the Satanist, to a degree, underestimate the conservatives, the right, the good, righteous people of America. Don't really piss them off. You get them going, and they're not throwing Molotov cocktails. I'll just leave it at that. Totally destroying one of those mass riot things is incredibly simple once one decides they just don't care anymore. And I think that could be coming. I feel the level of hatred. Satan laughing spreads his wings. I feel the level of animosity. It's being stoked and it's growing to the point where there's a big boom. And quite frankly, that's what everybody wants. That's what the globalists want, because order out of chaos, right? You should know about that. The Hegelian dialectic. So I feel that could be coming. Internationally, man, what an fascinating time to be in international politics as a true observer, not as a somebody who's, got a dog on one side of the fight or the other, but like as a true, are there any more true academics? They're also biased towards their own side, and they're not academically honest when they write and talk and things like that. But it's an interesting time. You are witnessing the disintegration, the breakup of NATO. It's going to affect the EU. You've got players like Orban and Erdogan that are just like real big outliers there. You've got the U.S. threatening, we're pulling back, we're going to do this, that, or the other thing. You got the Europeans going, oh my God, what are we going to do? We're going to have to spend money on defense. Well, there are these things called SOF, Special Operations Forces, truths. And they're like laws, that like these things are true. And one of them is SOF forces cannot be created overnight. They can't be created, immediately after emergencies. They can't be created overnight. That's true. It takes a long time to build a Green Beret, right? Well, it's the same thing with a military. This is not World War I, despite the trench warfare that's going on in Ukraine right now. This is not the Civil War. We don't just take a soldier, spend 2 weeks showing them how to point a rifle downrange and kick them off into combat. No. It takes a while. And so to go from the state that most European nations have their military in right now to a formidable force, it's going to take a long time. And here's the deal. There is a thing about an army, let's just say, being blooded, having real combat experience. And the United States Army was blooded for 20 years. For 20 years, we were engaged in combat in Iraq and Afghanistan primarily. There's stuff in the Philippines, stuff in Africa, other places, but primarily there. And so we have a fair amount of combat experience there, but that's already bleeding away. The Russians, their military has combat experience now. And look at the type of warfare the United States military has good combat experience in: counterinsurgency, guerrilla warfare, low intensity conflict, where we rule the skies and the airwaves. We just rule them. It's like not even a question. Domination. Going against a near-peer adversary like Russia, China, different game. It's like being the hacky sack champion and then going out to play football. Yeah, you're an athlete, but not the same game. The Russians, and if we fight the Russians, it will be more akin, not the same, as what's going on in Ukraine as it was to what went on in Afghanistan, Iraq. And so, experience-wise, the Russians are doing better. I still think we have a better military than the Russians. Do not misunderstand me. But it won't be the same game. I don't know that the American people will accept the casualties that will likely incur in a fight like that. We would have to, were I a policymaker, if we were going to get into a fight with China or Russia, we would have to get in it, be about our business, and get out of it, because 20 years of fighting the Russians is going to be a lot of casualties that I don't think the American people will put up with. So I just feel this, and again, it's a stormy day outside. That could be part of it. That's affecting my mood. But yeah, stuff's going on out there. Now, what about you, good Viking, prepper? Again, I think to the extent that you can, if you are ready to be on your own in as many ways as you can fathom, contemplate the unthinkable. I talked about yesterday about pregnancy kits. Of course, we all know we're American preppers. We know all about security. We got it, man. I'm ready to go. Um, Electricity, water, healthcare, food. And again, not nearly as sexy as this stuff. Food and water, man. And if you need it, medical. These are the big things. And so, and I'll finish up with this because I'm trying to give you something you can do, not just, oh my God, everyone's mad and the world's going crazy. Is that Camus, the Scream? Skill set. First, mindset, skill set, tool set. Do not rely, let me find something here. Food and water, right? Do not rely on stuff. You gotta have stuff. You gotta have your pack of lightly salted almonds because they're delicious and good for you. But when that pack of almonds is gone, I don't care what your prepper pantry looks like. At some point, conceivably, most of us are going to run out of food that we have stored in our prepper pantry. It will be gone. You will eat your last almond. Then what? Then what? So that's where skill set comes in. Growing food. Gang, there are some of us here that grow food. There are many of you here that do much better at it than I do. But I am not drawn any of late to the videos of guys running around the woods in camo and practicing squad maneuvers and things like that. I'm drawn to videos like Joel Salatin and the permaculture hippies. Take what you can use, discard the rest. Food production. I mean, at a given point, you got enough of this. You're never going to have enough food. You're going to need more food tomorrow and the next day and the next day. If I haven't fired anything out of this handgun, I don't need more bullets for it tomorrow. Does that make sense? And you should be living in such a way where you don't have to use this. Food, water, production. NWA Prepper is starting a water collection system again. Good. All y'all should have a plan to get more water when it's raining like this. And then medical. And I've talked about it till I'm blue in the face before. But skill set, tools, mindset. The mindset is you realize you're going to be on your own and you have decided to take steps to prepare for you and yours, to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. That's your mindset. The tool set is the stuff, the toys, the gigas, and I would suggest like your larder, all your food that you've got stored up and all your water that you have stored up and stuff like that. The hand pump and the backup that you have, that kind of stuff. But skill set. Skill set is the one, you can throw money at it, but what you have to give for skill set is time. You can change your mindset in a second. You can change your tool set with a mad, wild shopping spree on Amazon. But your skill set, and Americans are terrible at the skill set piece. We would much rather spend $500 on a new Big Bertha golf driver than spend a week at the driving range underneath the instruction of a pro telling us how to actually drive with the club we have. We would rather get the new special magazine release on our pistol because it's cool and it lets me hit it faster, man, than we would spending time on the range practicing what we need to practice instead of the Gugas. Americans love their Gugas, man. At a certain point, Gugas no longer matter. It's the skill set. I love that movie for all the wrong reasons. Ronin with Bobby De Niro. And the guy's like, so what do you like? What kind of gun do you like? 45 or, and the guy's like, man, they're just tools. They're just tools. I don't care. Some tools are better than other tools, but it's not the arrow, it's the Indian. All right. I appreciate y'all. I will see you out there.